Welcome to the Shaun Wood All Good podcast. I am your host, Shaun Wood. How you doing, guys? Welcome back for another episode of the Shaun Wood All Good podcast. I have had a bit of a break. I was on hiatus. And in this episode, I'll actually just talk. It's going to be a little mini episode. Just going to talk about actually the rebranding of my podcast. If you're listening back and you've listened before, then thank you. Thanks for returning. If this is your first time, then you're lucky because you're going to get the new direction of the podcast. It's going to be a bit more candid, a little less structured. Not that the last one was structured, I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I guess I just want this one to be a bit more about me going on some riffs, talking about stuff that I'm a bit more interested in. I guess the last one, the original 4 episodes that I did of this podcast, it was longer form. It was interviews with parkour athletes, which was really exciting, and I really enjoyed that process. It was really nice to speak to those people, some of those guys I hadn't spoken to or seen in a long time. It was a nice catch up, but I didn't feel like it had a lot of direction, and I guess it was a bit hard because I had to rely on other people. And with me living out here in Australia and different time zones and all that sort of jazz, it wasn't the easiest thing to organize. Also, it was longer form, so it was harder for me to edit. It was very time consuming. And that's why I just want to kind of go on more riffs here, and I probably won't even run it through an editing program. I'll have a maybe quick listen to see if the audio is good and then just put them out there, As I said, it wasn't super hard. It wasn't super easy to organize. And yeah, I guess that those 4 episodes was me just trying to... It was part of a process I was going through this year of just working out if it was something I was going to enjoy, the whole podcasting thing. And I landed on the answer of yes, I really did enjoy it. It was fun. But it was a bit of a part of a bigger project that I was doing where I kind of dabbled my feet a little bit in a few different things this year. I started a website, theallgood.blog, and I did a bunch of sort of blogging there, and I made some tutorials for YouTube, and I did the podcast, and I sort of just dabbled in all these different forms of content to really just work out what it is that I would enjoy doing. And I'm sort of at the end of that experiment, and I've landed on a couple of different things, and I guess the result there was that I really enjoy video content, YouTube, not so much tutorials, but I miss content creating in the visual form, and I really enjoyed the podcast as well. And so moving forward, I'm going to focus a little bit more on those 2 platforms. Start off with this podcast actually first, and then move back into some YouTube content, but they're probably going to be quite similar types of content. So that's really exciting for me. So the new format for the podcast, I'm going to actually go for shorter form. I'm thinking like 5 to 30 minutes will be what to expect. Some of the other podcasts that are around the parkour community at the moment are a bit longer. I want it to be a bit more easy to digest and a little bit more regular. Subjects, so there's going to be things that I'm personally interested in, and that's like parkour business. So talking about, my main source of income right now is actually I work for a small digital marketing firm, and so I'm doing digital marketing, and there's a lot of that translates over to parkour, and having started a parkour business back in the day, and being involved in that, and then watching other people start it, I think there's some things that I've learned along the way that some people might find valuable, and yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Then I would love to talk about tech, so obviously filmmaking is a big part of what parkour people do, and there's always new gear coming out, and it's really hard to sort of digest that. But it's something that I do as sort of a passion. When I'm on YouTube, that's the sort of stuff I'm looking at, and I'm always buying new gear and selling new gear and trying new gear, and I really just want to share some of my findings on that stuff as well. So some sort of camera reviews, or DJI have just sort of released a new drone, which was the DJI Mavic Mini, so sort of I'm gonna get my hands on one of those in a couple of weeks. So I would definitely love making some content, some podcast material around that, and then just some general parkour news and stuff that's been going on. If anything comes up, just talk about that type of stuff. The go. I'm not going to shut it out and say I'm never going to speak to another guest again. I probably will, but there won't be as much pressure for me to make that the main thing that I have to do. And really, I want to leave it open for some non-parkour people. I have some incredibly intelligent, knowledgeable people in my life that sort of are like osteopaths or physios and all these types of things that can really help with parkour people. That are going through injuries. They're always there for me when I'm going through stuff, and yeah, like if I find it suitable, I'll bring one of those guys on and have a chat about that with them. So yeah, expect lots of different types of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually going through a little bit of a batching period and creating the content. Some examples of some episodes that I've already filmed. Like one of them is how to live in Asia using parkour. So I spent a bit of time out there, and I think there's some really cool ways that parkour people can make a living out there for short amounts of time. So a little episode around that, or best destinations in Asia and why, or as I said before, we sort of review the Mavic Mini when it comes out. So it's sort of some examples of the type of stuff I'd probably be talking about on this Shaun Wood All Good podcast, which brings me to the name. Don't know if I'm going to go on with that. I'd love some suggestions, actually. So I think it's cool. Like I like the whole Shaun Wood All Good thing. It's not very good for sort of SEO type stuff though, because there's not really parkour in the title. So sort of suggested stuff if I was to put it on YouTube and even on iTunes and on Spotify. Like I don't even know if my stuff's being categorized into the parkour content sections of those. So probably wouldn't mind a different name. So as I said, if you have a suggestion there, let me know. Love to hear from you guys. It's going to be a bit of a loose schedule. I do personally like consistency in podcasts, and I guess I'm shooting for one a week at the moment, but it may be a bit more, a little bit mess. I don't know what's a mess. My room's a mess, but anyway, a little bit more, a little bit less. But you should expect about one a week. And yeah, I guess that's all I really wanted to talk about on this episode. It was just a little short update to let you know that I'm back and I would like to continue doing this format, and that I loved it and that I have another episode coming out probably the day after this one is released, so stay tuned for that. And thank you for tuning in. Follow me. I'm gonna start just pushing my links a little bit more, because I'd really, some things I'd like to do. I mean, Instagram's where most of the people that follow me live, but I am going to be starting my YouTube back up. So if you just search Shaun Wood, you'll find my YouTube there. You might be able to go and watch some old school OG stuff there. The original Farang video was there. Oh, I should probably turn my phone on silent. Okay. I will make sure that doesn't happen next time. So yeah, and then I love Twitter. I would love to see the parkour community more active on Twitter. Short form, little spurts of conversation there. I like the platform. I feel like Twitter's got a resurgence going on at the moment. My God, I'm sorry about that. And Facebook, I mean, yeah, I'll be talking about Facebook in later episodes, so we'll leave that. But yeah, follow me on those. Yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, then, well, I don't know, go and do something better with your time. No, another episode coming probably straight after this tomorrow, and thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you. No, I won't. I'll speak to you next time. Peace.